The battlefield was silent now. Only smoke and the broken sounds of machines filled the air. The war between humans and the alien empire had ended, and one man stood among the ruins, Captain Ryan Hale. His armor was cracked, his body bruised, but he was alive. He had destroyed the alien weapon that could have wiped out an entire colony. When Ryan woke up, he found himself in a golden hall filled with alien guards. The walls glowed like liquid light and strange music hummed in the air. In front of him sat Emperor Kalthar, the ruler of the alien empire he had just defeated. The Emperor's voice was calm but cold. "Human, you have done something that even my own generals could not do. You destroyed the Void Engine. You saved your people. For that I will give you a reward." Ryan didn't trust him, but he listened. The Emperor raised his hand. Two figures were brought forward. Two alien women chained with glowing cuffs. The chains looked alive, pulsing with strange blue light. The first woman had silver skin that shone like the moon. Her eyes were soft and glowing, filled with sadness. She stood tall and calm even with the chains around her wrists. The guards called her Lyra. The second woman had dark violet skin and eyes like burning fire. Her face showed anger, not fear. The guards kept extra chains on her, afraid she might break free. Her name was Vera. The Emperor looked at Ryan with a small smile. "One of these women will be yours, human. They are not like others. They are both rare and powerful. But you may choose only one." Ryan stared at them. He didn't understand why this was his reward. The two women stood side by side, not speaking. But he felt something strange, a pull inside his mind like a whisper. He couldn't understand the words, but he knew they were coming from them. Lyra's eyes met his for a second. Her voice touched his mind softly. "Please, free me." Then Vera's gaze cut through him like fire. He heard another voice in his head. "Don't listen to her, choose me. I can protect you." Ryan took a deep breath. He looked at the Emperor. "Why are they chained?" "They are dangerous," Kalthar said. "Too powerful to be left free. But one of them may serve you if you are brave enough." Ryan looked at both women again. He could see pain in their faces, but also strength. His heart raced. He didn't know why, but he couldn't choose one. He couldn't leave the other behind. Finally, he said in a steady voice, "I choose both." The hall went silent. The guards turned to the Emperor in shock. Kalthar slowly stood from his throne. His golden eyes burned with surprise and something darker. Anger. "You cannot choose both," he said. That was not the offer. Ryan didn't move. "Then I refuse your rules. I'll take both or I'll take none." The Emperor stared at him for a long moment. Then a slow smile appeared on his face. "Very well, human, take them. But remember my words. Some rewards are curses in disguise." The guards unlocked the chains from the floor. The blue light pulsed faster, reacting to Ryan's presence. The air around the women shimmered. For a second, the whole hall flickered like a storm of energy. Lyra stumbled, weak but calm. Vara glared at everyone, her hands clenched tight. When Ryan stepped forward, both women looked at him with strange eyes, half fear, half curiosity. As they left the hall, the Emperor's voice echoed behind him. "You may think you have won, Captain Hale, but soon you will understand what you have taken." Outside, the sky was a deep red. Ryan led them to his ship. The women followed silently, their eyes glowing faintly in the dark. When the ship doors closed, he felt the same whisper again in his head, this time from both of them together. "You should not have chosen both." Ryan froze. The lights in the ship flickered for a moment. His chest felt heavy, like something unseen was now inside him. He didn't know it yet, but his choice had already changed the future of two worlds, and his own humanity. The stars stretched endlessly outside the ship's window as Captain Ryan Hale sat in silence. The hum of the engines was steady, but his thoughts were not. Across the small control room, the two alien women sat, Lyra and Vara, both watching him quietly, their eyes filled with something he couldn't understand. It had been only a few hours since he took them from Emperor Kalthar's palace, yet everything already felt strange. The ship's AI, EVA, kept giving unusual reports. "Warning," EVA said. "Unknown energy detected on board. Source unknown." Ryan looked over at the two women. They hadn't spoken since they entered the ship. The silence between them felt heavy, like something hidden was waiting to break. Finally, Ryan asked, "What's happening to my ship?" Lyra looked up slowly. "The chains that held us were more than metal. They carried energy, power that can't be hidden for long, Varys smirked. Your ship feels it. It's reacting to us. Ryan frowned. Reacting how? Like a living thing, Varys said. Afraid. The lights above flickered again. Ryan rubbed his temples. You both were prisoners. Why would the Emperor give you to me? Lyra's soft voice filled the room. Because he wanted to destroy us, and maybe you too. Ryan turned sharply. Destroy you? You mean he used me? Lyra nodded. The Emperor fears what we are, what we carry. Before Ryan could speak, a low humming sound filled the air. The ship's walls began to glow faint blue. Ava's voice turned distorted. Alert, energy surge. System overload in 10 seconds, Varys stood. It's starting, she said coldly. You freed us, freed you? Ryan asked. Lyra looked at him with calm sadness. The chains were made to hold our power. Without them, we are waking up. The lights burst. The control room filled with blinding light. Ryan tried to move, but the air felt thick, heavy. The two women stood side by side now, their eyes glowing. Lyra's silver light soft like the moon, Varys red like fire. Then, it happened. A wave of energy swept through the ship, throwing Ryan to the ground. He shouted, but no sound came out. Symbols appeared across his arms, glowing in strange colors, the same pattern as the chains that had bound them. He felt burning pain, then cold silence. His vision blurred. When the light faded, he lay still on the floor. The ship was dark again. Eva's voice came faint and broken. Energy link detected, Captain Hale's life signs. Unstable. Ryan tried to move his fingers. What did you do to me? Lyra knelt beside him. Her touch was warm and soft. You are connected to us now, she said. The bond has chosen you. Varys stood behind her, crossing her arms. You wanted both, human. Now you are part of both. Ryan forced himself to sit up. The symbols on his arms glowed faintly, pulsing with each heartbeat. Connected? What does that mean? Lyra looked into his eyes. It means you share our life force, our pain, our memories. Ryan's head throbbed. He could feel something, emotions that were not his. Fear, rage, sorrow. He saw flashes in his mind. Two sisters standing on a burning world, soldiers kneeling before them, and then... Betrayal, he gasped. What was that? Lyra whispered, a memory. Ryan stared at them both. You're not just prisoners, you're... something more. Vara gave a half smile. We were queens once. Ryan didn't know what to say. He stood slowly, still dizzy. Then why were you chained? Because our power destroys, Vara said sharply. And your emperor feared what he could not control, Lyra added softly. And now that we are free, he will come for us. For you. Eva's voice broke in again. Incoming transmission detected. Origin Kael'thar. Ryan turned to the screen. The Emperor's image appeared, smiling coldly. So, Captain Hale, Kael'thar said, you freed them. You have no idea what you've done. Those two beings are not your allies. They are weapons, and soon they will destroy you. Ryan clenched his fists. If that's true, then why do I feel they're afraid? The Emperor's smile vanished. Because they remember. The screen went dark. Lyra looked away, her eyes full of pain. Vara said nothing. Ryan walked to the window, watching the stars pass by. His arms still glowed softly in the dark. Whatever this bond is, he said quietly, we'll find out the truth together. Neither of them answered, but he could feel their thoughts inside his mind. Distant, conflicted, alive. For the first time since the battle, Ryan felt something different, not fear, but destiny. Far away in the shadows of deep space, unseen ships began to move. The Emperor's hunt had already begun. Captain Ryan Hale had not slept for 2 nights. His ship drifted quietly between dying stars, far from any known route. The silence of space was heavy, and inside that silence, strange whispers filled his mind. They weren't from the ship. They came from Lyra and Vara. Since the awakening, Ryan felt everything they felt. Sometimes warmth, sometimes anger, sometimes a deep pain he could not describe. When he closed his eyes, he saw their memories. Burning skies, broken temples, battles that turned oceans to fire. He sat in the command seat, staring at the faint blue glow running through the walls. Evie, he said, his voice tired. What's the energy level? The ship's AI answered softly. Unstable, Captain. The link between you and the two entities is spreading. Your body is adapting. Adapting, Ryan muttered. or breaking apart. Before EVA could reply, Lyra entered the control room. Her silver eyes glowed softly. "You should rest," she said. "The bond takes strength from you." Ryan turned his chair toward her. "Then tell me what this bond really is." Lyra hesitated. Vara followed behind her, her steps sharp, her expression cold. "He deserves to know," Vera said. "He is part of it now," Lyra sighed. "The chains," she began, "were not made to hold our bodies. They were made to hold our power and our memories. Long ago, our kind fought a war that destroyed our home. Vara and I, we were the last of our people." Ryan listened silently. Lyra's voice was calm, but her eyes told stories of grief. Vera continued. "We were not sisters by blood, but by destiny. Lyra controlled the light and I commanded the dark. Together we could create life and or end it." Ryan frowned. "Then why did the Emperor chain you?" Lyra looked away. "Because he feared the prophecy. It said that if light and dark ever joined again, the stars themselves would change." Ryan leaned forward. "Prophecy? What kind of prophecy?" Vara gave a short laugh. "The kind that makes men do stupid things. Kael'thar betrayed us. He used our power to build his empire, then sealed us away in chains so we could never rise again." Ryan felt anger rising in his chest. "So freeing you means freeing that power too?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, and that power is waking inside you." Before he could respond, the ship shook violently. Alarm screamed. Eva's voice cut through the noise. "Warning. Unknown ships approaching. Multiple signatures detected." Vara looked out the window. "Kael'thar has found us." Ryan jumped to his console. "EVA, activate shields." "Shields at 40%, the AI said. "Energy interference from the bond is disrupting systems." Laser fire struck the hull. The ship trembled. Ryan gritted his teeth. "We can't fight a fleet." Vara's eyes glowed red. "Then don't, let me." She raised her hands and energy surged through the ship. The lights dimmed. Ryan felt heat rush through his veins, the same energy that burned on his arms. "Vara, stop," Lyra shouted. "You'll kill him!" But Vara didn't listen. She closed her eyes, and outside the window, bright red lightning exploded from the ship's surface. The enemy ships twisted, their engines dying instantly. In seconds, the entire fleet was gone, silent wrecks drifting into the void. Ryan collapsed, gasping. His heart pounded as if it would burst. "What, did you do to me?" Vara looked at him, guilt flickering behind her fierce eyes. "I used your link to channel my power. Without it, I couldn't stop them." Lyra knelt beside Ryan, her voice soft and full of worry. "You could have killed him," she said to Vara. "He wanted to live," Vara replied coldly. "Now he does." Ryan forced himself up, sweat dripping down his face. "If we keep doing this, I won't survive." Lyra looked down. "The bond is growing faster than I thought." Ryan clenched his fists. "Then we need to end this bond. Find a way to break it." Both women went silent. Finally, Lyra spoke in a whisper. "There is one way, but it means going back to where the chains were forged. Our homeworld." Vara shook her head. "That world is dead." "Maybe," Lyra said. "But the secret still sleeps there." Ryan stood, steadying himself. "Then that's where we go." Vara narrowed her eyes. "You're walking into a trap." Ryan looked out at the stars. "Maybe, but I'm tired of running." "It's time to find out what the Emperor really wants." Behind him, Lyra's eyes glowed faintly. Vara crossed her arms, silent. None of them noticed that far below the ship, a small drone detached from the wreckage, sending their exact location back to Kael'thar's command ship. The hunt was far from over. The ship glided through a dark stretch of space. Broken moons and dead planets floated silently around them. Captain Ryan Hale stood by the window, staring at the stars. Each one looked distant, cold, like the truth he was chasing. For 3 days they had traveled toward the ruins of Lyra and Vara's lost world. The planet was called Erebos, once home to both light and darkness and now just ash and stone. Lyra stood beside Ryan, her silver eyes soft but filled with worry. "You shouldn't come with us," she said. "The bond is still unstable. If the source on Erebos reacts to you, it could destroy your mind." Ryan shook his head. "I started this. I'll finish it." Vera leaned against the wall, her tone sharp. "He's stubborn." "I like that. Maybe he'll survive." Lyra gave her a look. "You said the same thing about our soldiers once." Vara shrugged. "Most of them didn't die." Ryan ignored their argument. His thoughts were on something else. The Emperor's last message. You have no idea what you've done. Those words still echoed in his head. Evai, he said. How long until we reach Erivos? 17 minutes, the AI replied. But there's something strange. A faint signal matching the Emperor's frequency. Ryan froze. Show me. A hologram flickered to life. A small beacon floated in space, transmitting a calm, rhythmic pulse when like a heartbeat. Lyra's expression changed instantly. That's not a signal, she said. That's a lure. Before anyone could react, the ship shook violently. A deep rumble filled the air. Eva's voice turned urgent. Warning. Multiple ships emerging from hyperspace. Ryan grabbed the controls. Shields up, too late. A massive cruiser appeared ahead, black and gold carrying the Emperor's crest. Dozens of smaller ships surrounded them like hunters closing in on prey. Vera snarled. He found us. EVA reverse thrust. Get us out, Ryan shouted. Engines roared, but the ship didn't move. Eva's voice trembled. Tractor beam detected. We're being pulled in. Ryan slammed his fist on the console. Damn it! Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. He's been tracking us since the moment we left his palace. That beacon, it carried our energy signature. The view outside turned blinding white as they were dragged into the cruiser's hangar. The ship hit the deck hard. Sparks flew and everything went silent. Ryan unbuckled and stood, heart racing. Stay close. When the door opened, armored soldiers surrounded them. Energy weapons hummed, aimed at their heads. A cold, familiar voice echoed through the hangar. Welcome back, Captain Hale. Emperor Kael'thar stepped forward, dressed in shining black armor, his golden eyes glowing. His smile was calm, but his presence was like a shadow that filled the room. You really believed you could run from me? He asked. Ryan glared. I didn't run. I came to finish what you started. Kael'thar laughed softly. Finish? You don't even understand the game. You think these two are women? They are not. They are weapons. Fragments of a god. Lyra whispered. Don't listen to him. But Kael'thar continued, his voice smooth like poison. Long ago their power destroyed worlds. I chained them to save mine, and now you've set them free. But there's still time to undo your mistake. Ryan's jaw tightened. How? By dying, the Emperor said simply. At his command, the soldiers fired. Blue energy bolts filled the air. Ryan dove behind a console, drawing his plasma pistol. Vara moved like lightning, breaking her chains in one motion. Energy burst from her hands, throwing soldiers across the hangar. Lyra raised her arms. A bright shield of silver light surrounded Ryan, protecting him from the blasts. Go. Lyra shouted. Get to the ship. Ryan fired at the controls, releasing the hangar doors. Air roared out into space, pulling debris and soldiers with it. The chaos gave them a few precious seconds. Vera grabbed Ryan by the arm. Move, human. They sprinted through the smoke and fire, reaching the ship just as alarms blared. Lyra followed, her light dimming with every step. Inside, Ryan slammed the door shut. EVA launch now. Engines screamed. The ship tore free from the hangar, diving into open space. Behind them, Kael'thar's voice echoed through the comms. Calm, cruel, endless. You cannot run from destiny, Captain. The bond will consume you, and when it does, I will take what remains. The transmission ended. Ryan fell into his seat, breathing hard. Vara looked furious. Lyra looked weak, trembling. Ryan turned to her. You okay? Lyra nodded faintly.
He's not lying.
The bond is changing you. Soon you won't be human. Ryan looked down at his glowing arms. The symbols pulsed faster now, burning through his skin. He clenched his fists. Then I'll use whatever I become to stop him. Outside, the Emperor's fleet followed, a storm of darkness chasing 3 souls bound by fate. The stars outside looked calm, but inside the ship everything was falling apart. The engines groaned, systems blinked, and Captain Ryan Hale sat on the floor of the medbay, his hands trembling. The strange symbols on his arms glowed brighter with each heartbeat, like living fire beneath his skin. Lyra and Vera stood nearby, both silent, both watching him carefully. Since their escape from the Emperor's ship, Ryan hadn't spoken much. The bond inside him was changing, and none of them knew how far it would go. Lyra stepped closer, her silver light flickering softly. Ryan, she said gently, you must rest. The energy inside you is unstable. Ryan looked up, his voice rough. Every time I sleep, I see things, wars, planets burning. Sometimes I see you two, fighting each other. Farah smirked from across the room. That's because it happened. Those are our memories. You're inside them now. Lyra frowned. Don't say it like that. Ryan stood, breathing hard. So I'm losing my mind because I share your memories? Lyra shook her head. No, you're learning who we were. But your body can't hold what it doesn't understand. Before Ryan could reply, the ship's AI, EVA, spoke in her calm tone. Captain, I'm detecting another vessel approaching at high speed, small, armed. Ryan moved to the console. Not the Emperor again? Negative, Eva said. It's a bounty ship. Farah's eyes flashed red. Of course. The Emperor sent hunters. Ryan checked the scanners, and one ship, fast and deadly. Looks like one of his assassins. Let me deal with it, Vera said. I'll tear it apart. Lyra stepped between them. No, you'll only draw more attention. Let's try to avoid blood. Vara's voice turned cold. Blood is the only language the Empire understands. The ship shook suddenly. A hit. Eva's voice grew urgent. Shields at 60%. Ryan ran to the controls. Eva, reroute power to defense. Lyra placed her hand on his shoulder. No, Ryan, you'll burn yourself again. I don't care, he shouted. We're not dying here. As his hands touched the control pad, the symbols on his arms flared. The whole ship answered him. Lights pulsed, metal hummed, energy surged through every wire. Vera's eyes widened. He's channeling us. Outside, bright silver and red energy burst from the ship, forming a spinning barrier. The bounty ship's weapons hit it and bounced away. Ryan gasped, collapsing back into his chair. What did I just do? Lyra knelt beside him. You used our power through the bond. The ship obeyed you because you are now part of us. Vara grinned, almost proud. Not bad, human. You're finally useful. Ryan tried to smile, but the pain was growing. His head throbbed, and strange voices whispered inside his mind. Not Lyra or Vera, but something older. Darker. The link is forming again. The cycle begins. He pressed his hands against his temples. Who's talking to me? Lyra's face turned pale. Ryan, what did you hear? The link is forming again, he repeated. What does that mean? Vara's tone hardened. It means the prophecy is starting. When the link awakens, light and dark combine. The last time that happened, worlds died. Ryan looked between them. Then tell me how to stop it. Lyra's eyes filled with sorrow. You can't stop it, Ryan. The bond is alive. It grows stronger every time you fight or feel. EVA interrupted again. Captain, the enemy ship has retreated, but I detect a tracking signal planted on our hull. Ryan's face went cold. So they can follow us anywhere. Vara slammed her fist against the wall. Then we destroy them first. Lyra shook her head. No, we go to Erebos, the source of the chains. Only there can we understand what's happening to him. Ryan stood, feeling the burning symbols glow brighter. Then we move now. Vara crossed her arms. You're still too weak. He looked at her, voice steady. Maybe, but if I wait, I'll lose what's left of me. Vara stared at him, silent for a moment, then nodded. Fine. If you die, it's your choice. As the ship jumped into hyperspace, Ryan felt both of their energies pulse through him, one soft and light, the other fierce and wild. They were opposite forces, yet inside him they began to blend. Lyra looked out the window, whispering, The bond has chosen him. It's too late to undo it now. Vera's red eyes glowed faintly. Then he'll either save us, or end everything. Ryan sat quietly, his thoughts fading into the hum of the engines. The voices in his mind were growing louder, calling him toward something waiting on Erebos, something ancient and alive. The journey to the dead world had begun, and with it the truth behind the bond. The journey through hyperspace ended with a shudder. The stars returned cold and distant, and before them lay a gray, broken world. Erebos. Captain Ryan Hale stared through the window, silent. The planet looked dead, covered in dark clouds and glowing cracks that ran across the surface like old scars. The air itself seemed to move, alive with faint light. Lyra stood beside him, her voice soft. This is what remains of our home. Vara crossed her arms, her tone bitter. You mean what he destroyed? Ryan glanced at both of them. This place. It feels wrong. Like it's still breathing, Lyra nodded slowly. Because it is. Erebos was not just a world, it was built from our power. Even after death, it remembers. The ship's AI EVA interrupted in a cautious tone. Captain, radiation levels are high. I recommend minimal exposure. Ryan shook his head. We came this far. We're going down. The ship descended through the dark clouds. Lightning flashed in the distance, not natural but shaped almost like symbols. When they landed, the ground was made of black crystal. Every step echoed with hollow sound like walking on the bones of something ancient. They moved slowly across the ruins. Towering statues stood half buried in ash, their faces cracked but still proud. Ryan brushed the dust off one of them and froze. It looked exactly like Lyra. He turned. Lyra, this is you. She touched the statue's hand gently. It's not me. It's what I was long ago. Vera's red eyes narrowed. This is pointless. The Emperor's forces will find us soon. Lyra ignored her and walked toward a large structure in the distance, a temple carved into the mountain. Its entrance glowed faintly with blue and red light. Ryan followed, his heart pounding. What is this place? Lyra stopped at the doorway. The heart of Erebos, the place where the chains were born. Inside, the air shimmered. Strange symbols floated in the air, spinning slowly. In the center stood a circular platform made of glass-like stone. Vera stepped onto it and looked down. Still working, she muttered. After all this time, Lyra joined her. The power never died. It only slept. Ryan stared at the patterns beneath his feet. What are these? Lyra's voice grew softer. Memories. The temple remembers everything. Who we were, what we lost. The platform suddenly lit up, reacting to their presence. Energy lines raced outward, filling the room with light. Ryan stumbled back as the symbols on his arms flared to life. EVA's voice crackled through the comms. Warning! Unknown energy linking with your vitals. Lyra gasped. It's recognizing him. The bond has awakened the heart. The light around them changed, forming shapes, moving images like ghosts from another time. Ryan saw Lyra and Vera standing side by side wearing crowns of light. Their people knelt before them in peace. Then chaos, soldiers, war, fire, betrayal. Ryan whispered, You were rulers. Lyra nodded, tears in her eyes. We tried to unite light and dark, but Kelthar betrayed us. He used our powers to build his empire, and when we refused to destroy more worlds, he chained us. Vera's fists clenched. He feared what we could become together, so he turned us against each other. The vision shifted, showing the Emperor's face younger, surrounded by energy stolen from them both. Ryan felt rage rise inside him. He lied to everyone. He said he saved the galaxy. Lyra looked at Ryan with sorrow. Now you understand why the bond chose you. It needed balance and someone between us. Human, but strong enough to hold both sides. Ryan looked down at his glowing arms. Balance? Vara stepped closer. You're more than that now. You're becoming the link, the living bridge between light and dark. Suddenly, the temple trembled. Stones fell from the ceiling. EVA's voice echoed through static. Captain? Multiple ships entering orbit. Imperial signature confirmed. Vara drew her weapon, fire blazing around her hands. They're here. Lyra turned to Ryan, urgent. The heart must be sealed. If the Emperor reaches it, he'll take its power and destroy everything again. Ryan nodded. What do we do? Lyra looked at him with calm resolve. The heart responds to you. Only you can seal it, but it will cost you something. Ryan didn't hesitate. Tell me what I have to do. She stepped forward and placed her hand over his chest. You must give part of yourself to the heart. Your memories, your pain, your fear. It will close the gate, but the bond will change forever. The ground shook harder. Vara shouted, We're out of time. Ryan closed his eyes. Do it. Light burst from his body, swirling into the temple's core. The entire mountain glowed, white, red, silver, blending together like dawn after endless night. When the light faded, the heart was silent again. Lyra knelt beside him. Ryan, can you hear me? He opened his eyes slowly. Yeah, but everything feels different. Vara looked out at the sky. Black ships were descending. They found us. Ryan stood, the symbols on his arms now glowing brighter than ever. Let them come. He looked at both of them, one made of light, one made of fire, and Ryan said quietly, It ends here, or it begins again. The sky above Erebos turned red as fire streaks fell from orbit. The Emperor's fleet had arrived. Dozens of dark ships cut through the clouds, their engines roaring like thunder. The ground trembled beneath the ruins. Captain Ryan Hale stood at the edge of the shattered temple, the symbols on his arms glowing like molten gold. Beside him stood Lyra, calm and radiant, and Vera, fierce and ready for war. Ryan looked toward the horizon. So this is it, Lyra nodded quietly. The end of one world, or the start of another. Vera's red eyes blazed. Then let's make it an ending they'll never forget. The wind howled as the first wave of enemy ships descended. Soldiers in black armor landed on the cliffs, their weapons humming with blue fire. From above, a giant warship hovered, and on its deck stood Emperor Kalthar himself. His voice echoed through every communicator, smooth and cold. You cannot win, Captain. That power inside you belongs to me. Ryan shouted back, then come and take it. Kalthar raised his hand. A beam of dark energy struck the ground, shaking the mountain. Soldiers charged forward. Vera roared and unleashed her power. Red lightning tore through the enemy ranks, burning the ground beneath their feet. Lyra lifted her hands. Soft white light wrapped around Ryan and Vera, shielding them from the blasts. The battlefield became a storm of light and fire. Ryan fought beside them, his body moving with impossible speed. Every motion left trails of energy. The bond inside him had grown. He could feel both of them within his heartbeat, guiding his every move. But for every soldier they destroyed, 10 more arrived. The Emperor was coming closer. Ryan gasped between strikes. We can't hold forever. Lyra's voice echoed in his mind. There is another way. What way? He asked silently. Her answer came with sorrow. You can end this by merging the bond completely. Vera's voice cut in, sharp and defiant. No, if he does that, he loses himself. The bond will eat him alive. Ryan's heart pounded. What happens if I merge it? Lyra looked at him with pain in her eyes. You'll become the link. No longer human, no longer separate from us. But you will have the power to destroy Kalthar once and for all. Vara stepped forward, shaking her head. You don't know what you're asking. He'll die, Lyra whispered. Or he'll save everything. Another explosion tore through the air. The Emperor landed before them, his armor glowing with stolen energy. The same power once taken from Lyra and Vara. Kalthar smirked. You think you can defy me with borrowed strength? You are nothing but my creation. Ryan raised his weapon. Maybe, but I'm not yours anymore. Kalthar lifted his hand. Darkness spread like smoke. The ground cracked. Ryan dropped to his knees, his body burning from inside. Lyra and Vara rushed to him, both shouting his name. Their energy flared, one silver, one red, blending where they touched his shoulders. The light grew stronger, swirling around them like a storm. Ryan's voice was weak but steady. Both of you, trust me. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. Ryan, no. He closed his eyes and let go. The symbols on his arms burst into blinding light. The bond connected fully, 3 hearts, 1 pulse. The air exploded with color. Kalthar screamed as the energy hit him. His armor cracked, his stolen power tearing away. Impossible. You can't, Ryan's voice thundered through the storm. You chained them for power. But power doesn't make gods. Choice does. A final flash consumed everything, white, red, and gold. The Emperor's ship shattered into dust. The mountain split open and then, silence. When the light faded, the battlefield was gone. The sky above Erebos was clear for the first time in ages. The ground was covered in glowing flowers born from ash. Ryan lay at the center, motionless. Lyra knelt beside him, her hands trembling. Ryan, wake up. For a long moment, there was nothing. Then he took a breath, slow and deep. His eyes opened, glowing faintly, not blue like before, but a mix of silver and crimson. Vera whispered, almost afraid. You're not human anymore. Ryan stood, looking at his hands. The symbols had vanished, replaced by faint scars. He looked at both of them, Lyra's gentle eyes and Vera's fierce gaze. I'm still me, he said softly. Just more. Lyra smiled through her tears. The bond didn't take you. It changed you, Vera smirked. So what now, Captain? Ryan looked at the rising sun of Erebos, the first in centuries. Now we rebuild, not as conquerors or slaves, but as one. The wind moved gently through the ruins, carrying the sound of life. The war was over. But the story, their story, and had just begun.